What's up, everybody? How are you doing on this beautiful hump day? Yep, this is Daryl G coming to you with another video from G-Pac TV. I just want to point out a few things. I know a lot of people have probably heard about the shooting that happened in Atlanta. So what we have is a guy, he went around in Atlanta and to certain salons, mostly, Asian ran salons, and he shot a whole bunch of people inside those businesses. So we're having a press conference here, and I just want to point out a few things that it seems like to me you have law enforcement being the lawyer for the killer. Am I missing something here? But you're going to have one person come out and say that they're in an investigation and they really don't know either way. So they can't tell you right now because we're in an investigation. We'll find out after we investigate. But you will have another person that will come on and say, hey, listen, I understand what the sheriff said, but it's leaning towards this being what it's supposed to be based off of what the killer is saying. If you haven't done the investigation yet, how are you going to say what it's leaning towards? Or are you his defense lawyer? Let's start with this.
We will present in the chronological order so that we can better inform you on how things played out. So we'll start off with Sheriff from Cherokee County, Sheriff Reynolds from Cherokee County, and then it will go to me. We both have our investigator leads that can go into more details as a result of what happened and what transpired through the investigation. I think that it's important that we first acknowledge the fact. I know that we've received a number of calls about, is this a hate crime? We are still early in this investigation.
Right.
So we cannot make that determination
at
this moment.
That sounds reasonable, right? Am I?
In this investigation, even though we've made an arrest, there's still a lot more work to be done.
That sounds reasonable.
With that being said, I just wanted to make sure that I know that that's going to be a concern, and that you were probably asking that of many of us. We are just not there as of yet. Again, so thank you all, and we'll start with Sheriff Reynolds. Sure.
Let's stop there for a second. That's the first official who says we're in an investigation and we don't know either way. Right? So I'm just trying to figure out how does it go from there to another official saying that it's leaning towards one scenario or the other. Listen for a second.
He should be at an arraignment tomorrow at sometime early morning to late morning, and we will keep you up to date. We have a press release that Captain Baker's put together, available to our media folks. If you don't have that, I think we have some printed copies that he'll be happy to get to you. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have at the moment.
Sexual addiction.
As the chief indicated, it's still early, but the indicators right now are it may not be. It may be targets of opportunity.
Stop it there. You heard what he said. He said the question from the reporter was it racially motivated? He said that it may not be. It may be targets of opportunity. How do you know this if you guys are still doing an investigation like the last official before you said? How are you making the case for a killer? You are not his lawyer. You are a police officer, right? Am I getting something wrong? Let him continue.
Again, we believe that he frequented these places in the past, and may have been lashing out, and part of that.
Lashing out. People are dead. Lashing out. Let's be clear. If this was anybody else, let's be honest with each other. If this was me, do you think he will be talking about me like that? Oh, he was just lashing out. Do you think he'd be talking about me like that if I did that? It's unbelievable. He's a police officer. He's not his lawyer. Continue.
During our interviews, we asked that specific question, and that did not appear to be the motive for. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. I'll turn it over to the next person.
We'll stop there. So, that's the point I'm trying to make. He just made a story for the killer. He's not his lawyer. What he said contradict what the official before him said. Which, am I getting this wrong? Doesn't that sound more reasonable? People, that's what they usually do. Come out and say, "Hey, we're in an investigation. We don't know which one way or the other. Let us continue the investigation." Isn't that what they do? He came out for the killer and said it's leaning towards what he told us it was. That's what it. We haven't looked into his background. We haven't looked at his media posts. We haven't. It's leaning towards. Well, I guess I can't say they haven't looked at that yet. But if you're doing an investigation, this is pretty early on. Whatever you do know, you should not be making a case for the killer on TV. You're the law enforcement officer. You're not his lawyer. And if it was anyone else, like myself would say, you wouldn't be acting like my lawyer on TV. I'm just saying. So, what do you think? Should law enforcement be acting as lawyer on national TV for a killer who killed many people? Is that a terrorist act? How many people did he kill? That seems like a mass shooting to me, or some type of a terrorist act. Am I wrong for that? If it was other people, people would be calling it a terrorist act, right? Or a mass shooting. I'm just trying to figure this out. So, I send my condolences to the people who died in this instances, but we have to be honest here and about the officials that's dealing with this investigation and dealing with this whole thing. We have to ask those questions. So what do you think? Let me know. Like, dislike, comment, tell me what you think. Should that be happening? Should this be happening? You know where you're at. G-Pac TV, happy hour.